Will the recent weather event change or refocus your priorities?
Obviously, the recovery is going to be a key focus, but I think underpinning that is still the challenges that we've already been facing, things like transport, things like our housing crisis, things like building, our resiliency and climate change adaptation. And so whilst that recovery will become paramount, those underlying issues don't go away and we still need to continue to address them.
Absolutely. The rebuild from the floods and landslides has got to be the #1 priority for the new council. There will be some areas of expenditure that will need to take a back seat because we owe it to the community and particularly to the families that are affected by the floods that getting their homes and their streets fixed is #1.
At this stage, it's a little early to tell. There's certainly been a significant amount of damage across the wider region, not nearly so much as there has been in Nelson City itself. Significant damage on roads, bridges, and some damage in the township of Richmond. Probably not so significant that it's going to change the priorities of the next council, but we'll learn more over the next few weeks.
Absolutely not, no. I've had a real focus on stormwater particularly because of my background for the last decade in property development. Stormwater is a really big issue. It's a particularly big issue in Tasman District, and one of the real contentious issues is this idea of putting 3,000 or 5,000 or 8,000 litre tanks on every single property to intercept the stormwater runoff.
I think so, yes. I think we need to revisit some of those areas. There's significant problems with flooding and landslides, and people's properties got to be looked at. And we need to look at that quite significantly and have a fresh look at those areas. I think it's not uncommon in some of those areas to have problems in the past. We need to look and see why is it reoccurring and make people's homes and properties some more secure.
Yeah, well, obviously it's going to be one of the major tasks of the next council, and it's going to be something that's going to require a lot of work and a lot of money. But having said that, we also need to keep our eyes on the future. It's really important that whoever is the next mayor of Nelson is someone who actually has a genuine vision for the city, because it is our job to fix things that are broken, and that is what council will do. But we also have to lead, and we also have to think about how we make this city a better place. So it's going to be doing both, and it's going to be exciting.
Oh no, in terms of the arterial access, that'll be from the state coffers, which is funded, of course, supposed to be from the fuel account, so that will remain. The parking issue is a pretty long-term issue, but it needs to be prioritised planning-wise to offset the lack of parking or the continual eating away of parking ability in the town.
I hope it will reprioritise the new council's thinking. My priority has always been on that flood protection and stormwater, as I discussed earlier. I was disappointed 2 or 3 years ago we cut back on our flood protection. It was one of the flags I said no, retain that investment and improve that investment, and we have of late, but yeah, definitely a reprioritisation on expenditure.